Bam Leute, willkommen zurück im Courtroom Number 4. Zurück in Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, in der Turnabout Samurai Episode am letzten Tag im Gerichtssaal.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and defense will be able to present evidence. Decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement.
In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear.
Very well.
Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. Ha ha ha! That Wortspiel!
You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is the producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Oh, jetzt schon, okay. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez, I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here.
Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay.
Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 o'clock. Sharp. It ended at 4 o'clock. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later, when we all went to Studio 1. That's all.
I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you.
The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. Es klingt... Ich sag jetzt mal nicht, wie es klingt. I thought it might be risky to walk with what that monkey's head toppling over. Van. Manila used this van to drive Vasquez to Studio 1 after the meeting in the trailer. Ja, aber, hä? Aber nach dem Meeting war da nicht der Kopf schon unten?
I see. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it.
Let's go! So, I entered the trailer a little before noon. Ja, von mir aus. Meeting began at 12. It ended at 4. Jetzt will ich hier direkt mal was gucken. Der Kopf ist... Achso, nach dem Meeting, da wurde der Kopf auch wieder entfernt, ne? Okay. Das heißt, ja, okay, da ist nichts Falsches dran. Glaube ich. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony. The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop banging on your little desk. It hurts my ears. Bisschen mag ich sie ja schon, ja, wenn es in die Richtung geht. There's be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. When exactly was that? I've forgotten. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4 o'clock and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5 o'clock. I would think it was between those times. You would think? Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. Ja, erzähl mir mal, wie dich getaked hat. Hold on! You had Sal take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van. Oh, alright. Took a 15-minute break in the meeting. And what were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me. Chef macht genau das gleiche. Yeah, Mr. Wright. It was a 15-minute break. T-bone steaks. Do you have someone who can verify this? Ja, Sal wahrscheinlich, ne? Sal. No, I mean someone else? One person is enough. If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proved she didn't eat that steak. Ach, sie hat's gar nicht gegessen. Well, Nick, find anything? Kinda wish. I kinda wish she'd said a little more. It's hard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said. Somewhere. Also Phoenix meint, sie hat das Steak nicht gegessen. Ja, wenn sie was getan hat, dann hat sie keine Zeit zum Steak essen. Das stimmt. Aber das Steak war nicht da. Und daher können wir da eigentlich auch gar nichts proven. Found the employee area. Okay, das ist the employee area. Okay, okay. Then. Time of death 2:30. Das war am Ende des Breaks. Ja, das haben wir noch nicht gepresst. Machen wir das mal. By yourself? Yes. And you didn't stop in the employee area? No. Are you always like this, terse? Yes. Oh dear. Okay, da haben wir ja extrem viel Info rausbekommen. Moment, ich drück nochmal beim T-Bone Steak, weil Phoenix wollte ja hier. Vielleicht gibt es mehr Infos jetzt dazu. Do you have someone who can verify this? So, no, I mean someone else. One person is enough. She committed murder. Yeah, here. If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that she did eat that steak. Aber habe ich Evidence? Ich habe doch keine Evidence. Also, Phoenix meint, es ist ziemlich klar. Warte, ich mache nochmal das andere. Hier beim Break. Die erpresse ich nochmal. What were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It hits me. Ja, ja, genau. Hupsi. Okay, nix. Also ich muss hier irgendwas drücken. Bin mir ziemlich sicher. Okay, T-Bone Steaks on the table in front of the trailer. Autopsy Report. Vielleicht. Aber es ist ja nicht wirklich Proof. Es ist ja nur eine Möglichkeit, dass sie es gemacht hat. Das macht gar nichts. Guide Map. Wüsste ich auch nicht was. Samurai Spear. Monkey's Head. Nee. Das hat nur Jack Hammers Fingerprints. Steak Plate. Sleeping Piece and a large bone. Warte mal. Ich glaube, ich hab's. Oh mein Gott, ich glaube, ich hab's. Och. Der Grund, warum Maya gesagt hat, dass irgendwas fishy ist an der Plate. Sie haben es wirklich nicht gegessen, weil es waren keine Knochen drauf. Das heißt, sie hat es vermutlich einfach weggeworfen. Das muss es sein. Jawohl. Oh mein Gott. Ha. As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say you did not.
What's this now, Mr. Wright?
Look at this.
It's a plate.
This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manella ate at a table outside the trailer.
Genau, da ist einfach kein Knochen drauf.
Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Miss Vasquez? Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate the bone too. You ate a boneless steak. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator. Oder das?
I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? Picking on Salmonella. Ja, wahrscheinlich. Meeting the Steel Samurai. She was meeting with the Steel Samurai.
Order! Are you saying?
Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then, you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Es geht fast schon ein bisschen zu schnell hier.
Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous?
What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez.
Good luck, Nick.
Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the Steel Samurai Spear. Yes. I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? I think you could, you couldn't, could you? I don't know. Also warum solltest du nicht? Oder nicht? Also so ein Speer, das müsste ja jeder Erwachsene tragen können. Ah, ich krieg Schaden, wenn ich hier falsch antworte. I don't know, you couldn't, could you? I don't know ist garantiert falsch. Soll ich mal mit ihr agreeen? Komm, ich agree mit ihr. I think you would have a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would. You see? Yes. However, that has no bearing in this case. Meaning? The samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What? Ja, aber ist es das nicht?
What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body.
I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. Hä? Wo haben wir denn den Beweis? Wir haben ja keine andere murder weapon. Ah, oder ist es vielleicht, weil es gebreakt ist? Ja. Ja klar, du kannst ja niemanden umbringen mit einem getapten Speer. Der wird ja sofort abknicken. Stimmt eigentlich. Good point. Warum auch immer ich da nicht gedacht habe. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that the spear broke during the morning action scene run-through? But someone fixed the spear. It was a security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? Ah, that's good point. Good point.
Order! Order!
Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence. I'm the one testifying here and I will be heard. Hedgeworth kriegt einfach gar nichts. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer?
I can't? Oder kann ich? Monkey said, fell on him. Ah, ne, es war ja ein Loch. Der Zaun würde gehen, wie vor 5 Jahren. Wahrscheinlich ist es das, ne? Das ist ja auch ein Speer, sozusagen. Und das muss man nicht tragen, man muss ihn nur schubsen. Ah. Aber es ist fast schon zu früh für das Foto. Ich meine, das ist ja meine Trumpfkarte. Jetzt schon rausballern? Ja, okay, dann machen wir das. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was?
I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well. Let's see this murder weapon then.
Look at this photo.
What is this?
Why, that's Jack...
Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order! Order! If I cannot have order in this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about?
This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth? You still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest?
What are you saying?
Yes. What happened 5 years ago? Has happened again.
Mr. Wright, continue.
It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Miss Vasquez meets her camera outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say.
In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die 5 years ago.
Precisely. Ironic, isn't it?
Oh, very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff.
You deny that what I say is true?
Mr. Wright, let's say for the sake of argument that Hammer died at the trailer as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could you have dealt with the body?
She couldn't deal with it. I bet she could move it. She had another way. Ja, sie könnte mit dem Auto fahren. Also ist eigentlich nicht so abwegig. She had another way. Mit dem Auto einfach. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? For instance... Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. Huh? And there was a way for you to carry that body.
Interesting. Let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body.
The van. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1. And you used the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. He used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Hold on, Wright. Don't forget it was Salmonella that drove the van. Are you a suggestion that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? Sie könnte auch selber gefahren sein. Von daher würde ich sagen, nein. Of course he wasn't. Huh. So without Mr. Manella's noticing anything, she put the body in the van. Then managed to put the body into the costume. Are you seriously suggesting that is possible? Of course I'm not serious. Oh, war's falsch? I was kidding to lighten up the proceedings. Lighten? You can't lighten up a murder.
Mr. Wright, the court requests you refrain from making claims in jest.
Yes, Your Honor. Of course Salmonella has to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. Aber sie können auch einfach selber gefahren sein. Oder kann sie nicht fahren? Das check ich nicht ganz. Naja. There was no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. Huh. I lose, you win. It was fun. I win? Okay. So, what happens next? Don't... me? Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost something like that. Hat sie doch schon gesagt. I just said that. Wait, so you mean... Divas guess, so it was you? You killed Jack Hammer? Yeah? Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright? We just engaged in a battle of wits. And the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right? But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? What?
Order! Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Of course it's as the witness says.
Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but there's no proof.
Edgeworth isn't sure.
Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving.
What do I do now?
Testify again, no further questions. Ja, testify again, das ist unsere beste Waffe. I'd like you to testify again.
Testify again?
No, and to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time.
Damn! To come so far only to fail. As it seems, there are no further questions. I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't.
Oh, I see. Very well.
Your Honor, I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes.
Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about?
Well, yes, indeed, verily I say, ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body.
After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter.
Huh.
Nick, why did Edgeworth...
Who knows? He probably realized she did it too.
But... wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that?
Edgeworth. Ja. Vielleicht wieder ein guter Kerl. After finding the body, I was with Sal and Oldback, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady Oldback was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home.
I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick. We're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. Cross-examination.
Okay, silent Oldback. What time was that? We were to meet at 5 o'clock for the rehearsal, so I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manella arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Press harder, back off. Wir warten erstmal ein bisschen. I better leave this one be. I'm sure she'd see through anything I had to throw at her anyway. Ich will erstmal wissen, was hier abgeht. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. Mr. Powers taking a nap, correct? So he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember. Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us. Yet you expect me to be calm? You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. What was everyone else doing at that time? No one said a thing. It was silent, completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived at the scene. Sorry I'm late. Then silence. That silence. Silence.
Hey Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up.
Okay. Moment, was war das nochmal? Immediately called the Powers show. Okay. Security lady was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying he did it. Oldback, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? Ja, wegen dem Foto wahrscheinlich. She said because she saw him going toward the studio. Right, still samurai. And Oldback, I think. I'm sure she's already anticipated anything. Has to be left out of the proceedings. Why? You asked to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned, and I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved, thus they covered for us. Covered for you? Or covered it up for you? There must have been a lot riding on it, with all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure our professionals helped convincing everyone they didn't require questioning. Ja, die haben wir auch schon getroffen, die Professionals. Mit der geilen roten Krawatte. I went back to the trailer, script and direction notes. Da konnte ich gerade nicht pressen, oder? Bin mir nicht sicher. Also, harder pressen. The script and your direction notes. Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Ich glaube, das ist nix. Oh, back. Then I went home. Oh, das wollte ich nicht skippen. You have to find something to pack this on her here. Or everything we've done till now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him. So, ich will noch mal kurz das letzte. Then I went home. So, we weren't questioned. But that's correct. I find these things distasteful. Okay. Also, wir können so ziemlich alles harder pressen. Was ist denn das Fischigste? Was ist silent old bag when we found the body? Right, weil ihr zum Rehearsal wolltet. Hm? System was there too, only Powers was absent. Merely called the police, then Powers showed up. Ich glaube, ich mache mal nochmal das erste. So, what time was that? Bla bla bla, haben wir alles schon gehört. About 10 minutes before, I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Yeah, press harder. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help. Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy. Boy?
The witness will continue her testimony.
Okay, the system was there, only Powers was absent. Okay, ich glaube, wir pressen einfach alles hart. Komm. Es scheint ja keine Strafe zu geben. Remember, there was a dead body. Sie ist aber recht calm, ja. Wait a second, wouldn't that be the other way around? The other way around? You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Won't you normally go looking for the missing person? Yeah, fair point.
I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez?
Huh. Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing.
Poor Powers. Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez, you may continue.
Immediately call the police. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm late. Then silence. Ich glaube, hier konnten wir gar nichts pressen, oder? Ja. Security lady was quite agitated. Okay. Why does security lady think? Yeah, system costume. Press harder. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. Photograph meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. So you ask to be left out. You can't do that. They covered for you. Da kann ich auch nicht pressen. Okay. Went back to the trail to get my script and direction notes. Ja, das könnte vielleicht noch interessant sein. Press harder. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio One for a rehearsal. Stimmt. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh yeah, I guess. Warte mal, hä? Nee, das war jetzt gerade der größte Scheiß des Jahrhunderts, den sie gerade erzählt hat. Wie will sie denn wissen, dass jemand ermordet worden ist, bevor sie den Körper überhaupt erst gesehen hat, die Leiche? Okay, das war eindeutig.
Very well, Miss Vasquez, please continue.
Ja, genau, Edgeworth. You're my boy. Your Honor. I have an objection to the witness' last statement.
Huh?
Think. Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have to have known about the murder before going to Studio One.
Order! Order! Mr. Edgeworth! What have you just said?
Is a reasonable observation.
However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense?
I appreciate your concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation?
I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me.
So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal.
Very well. The witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason.
I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me.
Sal, the director. You have to find something to peg this on her here. Or everything we've done till now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him.
Blah blah blah. Ask could have out of proceedings. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scene, so I left them behind. Moment mal, I knew that Hammer was injured. Couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. Irgendwas muss falsch sein an dieser Aussage. Moment. Also, Hammer was injured. Das ist richtig. Nee, warte mal. Das ist nicht richtig. Was sage ich da? Will Powers was injured. Oder? Ja. Will Powers was injured. Nicht Hammer. Von daher, aber was zeige ich da? Das Foto? Ich glaube, ich zeige das Foto. Ja. Take that! Objection! You knew that Hammer was injured. Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers.
What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Yes, Mr. Hammer is striking his leg in this photo, but that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured?
already said it. It was Sal who told me. That's right, you must have gotten it wrong.
I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez. You saw Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes.
Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured?
Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers.
Ah.
And when was he doing this? Well, it would have been after he put on a Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning.
Order! Order! I will have order!
Witness, can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez.
Very well. I have a question for you.
Why are the real killers always so persistent?
Why in the world
would I want Mr. Hammer dead?
He'd fallen on hard times. Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing. Yes, you would need a motive. Why would you have killed a victim? If there is a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive?
Kann ich es proven? Ja, vielleicht hat es ja mit dem Vorfall zu tun. Sie war ja involviert scheinbar. Vielleicht hat sie ihn ja umgebracht. Aus Versehen oder was auch immer. Und dann haben sie es auf Hammer gepinnt und es dann vertuscht. Vielleicht wollte Hammer das jetzt auflösen. Naja, ich denke, ich mach das mal. Okay. I have proof and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in this murder. This is my proof.
This is the photo from before.
And this photo reveals the motive in this murder. I am right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the heights of his fame. With the Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case is currently up for trial. It began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His skill weighted him down, no doubt. However, you, Di Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star.
One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed Di Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have?
Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine.
Mr. Wright, Please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder.
Motive. Ja, vielleicht war es ja... Vielleicht wollte er sie umbringen. Und als Selbstverteidigung hat sie ihn dann umgebracht. Aber was präsentiere ich denn dann? Was für ein Motive? Ja, wenn's... Oder es war ein Unfall. Präsentiere ich dann nochmal dasselbe Foto? She had no motive. Oder es ist she had no motive, wenn wir darauf raus wollen, sie wollte ihn nicht umbringen, sondern es war Selbstverteidigung. Ich mach das. She had no motive, Your Honor.
What's that now?
It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. Yeah. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez.
What? What?
Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill Di Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. Ooh. So, you did do it, didn't you? Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Miss Vasquez! What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No. How could this... It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel! Ich mache jetzt hier kein Voice Act, weil ich weiß eh nicht, wer das ist. Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez! No! Please don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again.
Mr. Ashworth, where's Di Vasquez?
In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm as collected as ever.
I see. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
It appears you have brought about yet another miracle.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle.
Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty.
Woo! Da ist es. Das kleine Weichei-Monster.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Defendant lobby number 3.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yes, but it's sad. I know that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me?
Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... Es gibt immer so eine Beweisszene nach dem Trial. Einfach für Flavortext. Was war's? Why wanted Hammer to blame him? Ah, vielleicht weil Powers jetzt der Star ist und Hammer nicht mehr. Ja, vielleicht ein bisschen jealous war. It's because you were the Steel Samurai.
Because I was the Steel Samurai?
Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kids show and as the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you.
I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time.
I think you're missing the point.
Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over.
So am I. So am I. Congratulations, Will Powers.
Oh. Thanks to you, I'll be able to do the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and...
Ja, ist leider vorbei.
Is something wrong?
No, of course not. Aha! Nick! Edgeworth! Oh, hi. Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in.
Pleased to meet you, I'm Powers.
Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. How are you? Liar. Right? I must say I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I'm saddled with unnecessary feelings. Oh, he loves us. Oh. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you.
Mr. Wright? Was the guy your friend?
What? Friends as if. They're rivals. Rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth? So, the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kids shows again. Oh. Nick! This is it! The new show starts today! You're going to watch it with me, right? I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. Didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy trading cards too, okay? You have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that Will Powers gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. end. Das heißt, Will Powers spielt die Pink Princess? Das will ich sehen. Oder habe ich da jetzt was falsch verstanden? Naja. Puh. Das war's. Das war die Episode Turnabout Samurai. Und ja. War doch ganz schicke Episode. War spannend bis zum Schluss. Ja. Ja. Ja, ne? Gibt's nicht mehr viel zu sagen. Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, was der nächste Fall war. Ich habe das Gefühl, das sage ich bei nach jeder Episode, aber ich weiß halt echt nicht mehr. Von daher bin ich gespannt, was der nächste Fall sein wird. Meine Stimme ist am Arsch. Hätte ich mir da 12 Messer in den Hals gedrückt, so fühlt es sich an. Ja, eher 13. Ich würde zwar gerne noch eine weitere Folge aufnehmen, aber die Stimme, Leute, die Stimme. Mal gucken. Auf jeden Fall, ich hoffe, euch hat die Episode gefallen. Mir hat sie sehr gefallen. Und dann würde ich sagen, sehen wir uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. In der nächsten Episode von Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Bis dahin, macht's gut, Leute. Und tschö.